Today we're in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and we're interviewing one of the most talented copywriters that I know who makes awesome money and has an awesome lifestyle, and I really want to show it off for you. We're gonna follow along with my friend Hannah. We're doing like a little day in the life. She made $130,000 last year from copywriting. Her best month was 16 grand. She barely even tries. So if you want to get a look inside the lifestyle of someone who makes $130,000 a year with copywriting, chilling, working a couple hours a day, this is gonna be the video for you. Can't wait to show you. We're gonna ask her all kinds of questions, how she got started, how she lives her life, how she spends her money, all that stuff. You're gonna love this one. Check it out.
People are obsessed with Lemme right now. That's Kourtney Kardashian's vitamin brand.
You wrote that?
Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love.
I'm Hannah. I grew up in Hamilton. I actually grew up like 2 houses down from Mason, and I'm a copywriter currently. I've been doing that for like how many years now? Probably like
almost
4 years. Yeah, 4 years. I'm loving it.
Like, you want to tell the story about how you actually got into copywriting?
Yeah. Oh my God, I love telling this story. I always tell like people about this. So Mason and we would always just go hang out, like grab coffee, whatever. And one day we were grabbing coffee and he's telling me how he's like dropping out of school and doing this thing called copywriting. And I'm like, what the fuck is copywriting? Like, I've never heard of this. I thought it was something to do with like law. And so he starts like telling me about it and he's like, actually, I think you'd be really good at it. He's like, I'm going to send you the course that I took. He just took like this, I don't know, random course online.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to send it to you, go through it and just start freelancing. And during this time, it was like COVID. I was just graduating school. So the idea of getting a job was like necessary, but not looking too good because everyone was literally losing their jobs at this time. So I was like, what the hell? Like, why not?
And also, like, you were interning.
Yeah.
And you hated it.
I hated it. Oh my God. Yeah. I was working as like an e-com intern for like a reselling like vintage fashion clothing company. I was like, I can't believe that like this is what working is going to look like, that I have to do this much and get paid so little. Like obviously I was an intern and I'd get paid a little more, hopefully, once I was like actually employed. But regardless, like it was not looking good. I hated it. And like within a week, Mason called me and he's like, yo, the agency that I'm working for is hiring, like send your portfolio into this email. And I was like, portfolio? Like I've literally never written copy before. He's like, just make something up. I was working for a tanning salon at the time. So I wrote a blog post for the tanning salon and then sent it through just basically pretending. I think I even faked analytics. Like I think I was like, yeah, this is how this performed. Like, I don't know. Like I just like went for it and they bought it somehow. And yeah, just got through every stage of the interview process and somehow landed the job. And I was like, well, I guess I need to like actually figure out what the hell this is. But luckily, like the agency we were working for at the time was awesome, like so great at teaching you everything. And I feel like that's where I really got my foundation for copywriting.
I feel like we both learned a lot about like marketing and like the industry of like e-commerce and just like how to write.
I started out at the agency and then I started freelancing, and freelancing was so much easier having all of that knowledge because you're obviously learning copywriting, you're honing your skills in that regard, you're working with different clients, flexing those muscles, but you're also working with designers and getting to understand how that process works and how you can write copy best to translate best into design, which is ultimately going to make your email perform best. You're working with marketers and you're getting to like listen in on strategy and talk with clients on how they would solve different problems when that comes up. And so, yeah, when you're going to freelance, you're like set. You'll have a client ask you the exact same question that you just heard in a meeting the other day, and you know the answer and you know it's a good one because it came from one of your best marketers.
In the prime of that agency, like it was the best gig ever because I think we were both getting paid around the same. It was like $4,500 a month.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how much you were working, but like I got crazy quick.
Yeah,
and
you were so fast.
I was dedicating like maybe 2-3 hours a day just to that. And it was like, it was so easy. I had all this other time. I feel like you've done a good job of like curating clients that like give you a really long leash. People have these jobs where like they're just getting yelled at by like creative directors like all day long. Yeah. They can't do what they want to do. They have to do exactly what the brand like basically tells you to do. But like I feel like everyone you work with, like they don't really want just a copywriter. Like they want you. How long did it take to sort of get to that point where it's like you have this, like they have trust in you that it's like just Hannah's gonna nail it?
Yeah, I feel like I got kind of lucky working at the agency because I got to work with a lot of brands that if I was freelancing at that point in my career, I never would have worked for them.
Name drop.
I worked for like Jennifer Fisher, Mad Happy, Lemme, Gwen Stefani's makeup brand, Give. There's definitely a few other that I'm forgetting, but yeah, so I got to work with these brands and it kind of just like threw me into the deep end where it's like the level of copywriting expected of you is like much higher, obviously. So that kind of like gave me like the confidence to go in and be like, I know exactly what I'm doing. So when I'm talking with my clients, that comes through. But I also just have like an absolutely killer portfolio where I feel like when I'm talking with a freelance client, like they just look at my portfolio and they're like, okay, we trust her. Like she's worked for these brands. Like she obviously knows what she's doing. And so I feel like I don't really need to do too much. But yeah, just like working with those brands is what kind of gave me the like street cred.
You said you finished last year around like 130. And then your best month was what?
It was like 16, just over 16K.
Damn, yeah. So like you're making bread, but it's also like, do you work that much? Like,
no, I really value like my lifestyle. I feel like, what did you say to me one day? You called it hot girl money.
Oh yeah, you're a hot girl.
Yeah. You're like, you're making hot girl money. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I get to like do all my things. Like I can get my spray tans, I can get my nails done, do my hair, like all the things that make me feel good. I get to go on trips. I can go for like good dinners and stuff like that. I get to live in a nice apartment, but I'm only working like max 3 hours a day. It's the best job ever. Like, I don't know. It's so good.
It's such a chill lifestyle.
Yeah.
Big as the Super Bowl, but the difference is it's just two guys playing shit that they did in the studio. Niggas usually say they versus better than me.
We're good.
Do you have a barber here?
No. I tried. I went to this gay dude right before I went to Fashion Week in September, and he chefed up, but it just wasn't what I was looking for.
No,
And
I
he
feel
was
like you
mad
can't beat
entertaining,
Miami.
too.
Miami's got like...
I got one dude.
Yeah.
I had trouble in Miami too. 'Cause
Really?
I kept going to these like Latino barbershops.
That's what I would
where it's,
assume.
they
They'd all be
did
really
not speak
good.
English, and I was like, and they were like, "What do you want?" And all I knew how to say was haircut. So they'd be like, "What do you want?" I'd be like, "Corte de pelo," and they'd be like, "Dale," and they just start cutting my hair. I couldn't give them like information on like what I actually wanted.
You just walk out of there with like the craziest fade.
All right, let's talk lifestyle. What is like a day in your life? Like, what do you actually do all day? If you're only working 3 hours a day.
I love to talk about this. So usually I'll wake up. I'm a big like morning routine person. So I like to like wake up. I have like all of these little things I do. I won't bore you with all of that. Vitamins, things like that. Journaling. And then I'll usually get myself to the gym for about like 9:30, 10. Have like a good workout, come home, shower, I'll eat something, and then that's when I'll do my work. And then whenever that's done, I don't know, every evening looks different. I'm a homebody, so sometimes I just like to like stay in the house and not do anything, and then other times it's like every day of the week. I'm like, there's a dinner, there's an event, there's like this, that. So that always looks a little bit different.
So you actually only start work at like 10 o'clock?
Oh my God, no, later. I start work at like, probably like 12:30.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like your clients like don't really give a shit? Or, like, how
No,
does it-
anything like, so I'm the most productive in the morning. So anything that like is like pressing that I really need to get done, like that's part of like my little morning routine is I'll check, like make sure that like anything that's like on fire gets put out. If there's like something I'm missing, if there's a student that's like really needing something, I'll get back to them. I usually answer students in the morning because I just feel like that's like an easy way to like ease into working. So I will check in the morning, but I won't like sit down and actually do any like writing or anything like that till a little bit later on.
Who are you working with now? Like what kind of, you don't have to like name drop or anything unless you want to, but like what kinds of clients are you
I have
working
some
with?
cool clients. So I actually have an info product client right now, which is kind of different for me.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's like a skincare. They like teach people how to like administer like really great skincare and like give them like a whole walkthrough. And then there's the whole like business side behind it. So she's just selling like a skincare course essentially.
Okay.
So I'm working with them, and then I have a really cool agency. I love working with them. That's Juice House. So for them, I do like different things. It's like kind of out of my wheelhouse. I'm predominantly writing like emails most of the time, you know, dabbling in ads, things like that. But for this, I'm like fully writing like scripts and things like that for commercials, like YouTube. You know, like before you watch a YouTube video and you like
YouTube
click
ad
the ad.
scripts?
Yeah. I'm like writing those for like financial companies and stuff. Like just super interesting work.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
I thought you were just straight up doing e-com.
No, I actually have like, I don't have one e-com client right now. The other clients I have, they're also info product, but I just do like Facebook ads for them. That's like the easiest client in the world. It's like 4 Facebook ads a month. They pay me
Wait, four fucking
four
Facebook
Facebook
ads?
ads a month. They pay me like, for one client, 600 USD. So I have 2 clients with him. So that's 1,200 USD. That's 8 Facebook ads a month. And I have to concept them, but that's it. Like it's so easy.
Damn.
Yeah.
How'd you get these?
I don't know. I actually feel like I got them all just through like word of mouth. Not like I didn't like outreach to any of them. Juice House I got through like an old coworker. Jordan I found myself actually, the skincare one. And then Nathan I got through Jackie.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Have you ever done cold outreach?
A little bit, but like I don't know, not really. I like have just really focused on like my network. I feel like I'm really good at like forming relationships with the people that I do work with, and I don't take that lightly. Like working in agencies and things like that, I've really fostered those relationships, and that's how I've gotten all of my freelance clients for the most part, like always through word of mouth. And you already have a leg up. Like when you have someone suggesting you, they already kind of like you. You already kind of have like credit behind you. So it's so much easier to close them as a client because you're kind of like already like 50% of the way there. Like, so it's so much easier. But yeah, cold outreach isn't something that I have to do a ton. I'm really fortunate in that way. If I wanted to make more money, if I like really wanted to just like grind for a bit, I could do that, and I could make like way more than I'm making a month. But I just like my lifestyle. I make enough to support everything that I want to do, and I get to like enjoy my life so much still. So like I wouldn't trade that. Like for me, it's not about like making the most money in the world. It's just about like making enough to like enjoy my life.
Yeah, which is like honestly more than enough.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. And I feel like, you know, the more that I'm in the field, I kind of started to realize, like I was talking about this with you recently about how I'm thinking like I'm a good copywriter, obviously, like I get by, but I have started to think lately, like maybe this isn't exactly what I want to be doing. Like, you know, I, again, love copywriting, but the part about copywriting that I love the most is like getting into like the psychology of the brand and like who we're speaking to and really like all of those little details and figuring that out. And so with, you know, some of my clients, I have been moving in different directions where now it's a little bit more creative direction. Like I'm taking on clients coming up in the new year where like I'm fully doing creative direction for them. Like I'm doing their visuals, I'm doing all of the nitty gritty, like everything down to the last detail. And I feel like copywriting was kind of my gateway into that. So even if like you don't love copywriting, start out there and just see where it takes you. Like that could lead you to, at one point I thought I was going to go into design and like start designing. Didn't end up doing that, but like it can lead you so many different places. So I love that about it.
These guys are girls.
No, this is all girls. That's guys stuff. You don't like it?
Nah, man. Most of Lulu's stuff is like kind of like, what the fuck is that, John? Look at that shit. Imagine wearing that to the function.
It's like for golf.
Golf. What's your like dream brand?
You know what? I always manifest. I want to be the creative director of Aloe.
Oh, really?
Aloe would be sick.
That would be
That's
dope.
so me too. Like it's like trendy and like whatever, but it's like fitness and everything. Like I feel like I would love that. I was working for this brand called Super Greens, and then they partnered up with Centrum. Like Centrum's like a massive like medicine company. So they partnered up. It was like this Super Greens. It's like a green powder.
Zoom in on the condom, by the way.
You guys like the crusty stuff in between your keys?
I do, I eat it.
That grosses me out, and if I saw someone's laptop like that, I'd be sick, so I don't want that.
I don't even clean my screen, bro.
Okay, that's a little bit more like, I don't know, I don't really clean my screen, but I noticed that.
This thing is well protected. You got a case here.
Yeah.
You got a case on your phone too.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier. You don't have a case on your
This
phone.
phone is 2 weeks old.
It's absolutely
I got a fucking
psychotic.
crack right there.
Writing for Centrum Super Greens was hell. Like that was actually like, I was like, I would never do this because it's such a big brand, and they're so like delicate about the way that you, like the things you can say, the things you can't say, and then you also have to like when you're writing for claims and stuff, you have to add like disclaimers and stuff like that, and it all has to be like
the asterisk.
oh, it's so annoying.
So
I hate doing it.
brands like that, it's actually less fun to work for big brands because like smaller brands where they're doing like, I don't know, like Ball is probably in the 5 to 10 mil a year range. Like you can pretty much say whatever you want and like they love it, and like there's usually 1 or 2 people that have to approve it.
Yeah.
But like even when I was doing Everyman Jack stuff, like first client, didn't know anything about anything. We did a campaign with Marvel and like they had to get Marvel to approve what I was saying. Oh, God. And it was like, it took forever. Like we literally started working on this stuff in like June of 2020. I don't think it launched till like Q4 of 2021. Like it took forever, so.
Yeah,
weird.
It's a bit of a headache. You think it's like super cool because it's like such a big brand, and it is like it's great to build your portfolio. I'd say always take it, but like it's not as much fun as you think it would be. It's like really, you just have to be very, very like careful about what you're saying.
Isn't that pretty cool that Marvel read your stuff?
That's so sick.
I mean, it wasn't fucking Tom Holland reading it. Like, it was
Imagine.
Like some just nerd.
He's like, send it back.
This doesn't sound anything like me.
I did like Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. So they did like a collab.
Right there.
with Larry David. And I wrote this. Over the past 32 years, he's brought laughter to our homes each week. What makes Larry so special is his ability to observe us, the funny things we do, the way we eat, the way we dress, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we side sit, our meetings, our greetings. No single mind has brought self-awareness to humanity like Larry David. No one person has so publicly asked why. From our Mad Happy team, we thank you, Larry.
Damn, that's very Hannah.
Thank you.
You got some rhymes in there.
I love that one.
That's a very, it was very rhythmic.
We did a Pixar one. That one was cool too.
Pixar?
Yeah.
Damn.
Create, collaborate, find your story.
No, Hannah's a big dog, bro. I guarantee people watching this video have for sure read her stuff and not even known.
Yeah, Lemmy people are obsessed with Lemmy right now. That's Kourtney Kardashian's vitamin brand.
You wrote that?
Yeah.
Dude.
Not all of it.
You need to start a course, man.
Just a little bit. They started with structured, so I helped build out all of their flows. So if you go on Lemmy and you add something to your cart and then you don't end up buying it and you get one of those emails like, hey, you left this behind, I wrote that, yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
So Courtney read her stuff.
Yeah, that's another situation where sometimes working with bigger brands is not very exciting because it was a lot of back and forth. If you're willing to put up with that, then you're golden.
It's kind of worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, to say that I've written for them, I would take that.
Your portfolio probably looks so good.
You want to see it?
Is it like a site or is it just like a Notion?
Yeah,
doc?
I made it on Squarespace. I could add more, but these are just my favorite ones. So I have Mad Happy, Jennifer Fisher, Bite, Bala, Give, Lemmy, House, Half Days, Mad Happy.
Damn.
And if you click into them, you can see the emails, some analytics.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
It is.
My portfolio is like a Google Drive.
But that's fine. That's all you need. If your work's good, you're good.
If someone asked me for a sample at this point in my career, I'd tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be like, oh, can we see some shit you've done? I'd be like,
It's different for info and e-com as well. My emails are designed out and everything. Yours are just words. There's not much to show.
see this disrespect? You write words, I make art. How much revenue do you think you've generated?
Oh my God, I have no idea. These brands are crazy.
I had one or two brands from the structure days where I know directly I generated probably 10 plus just for them.
Yeah.
And so that's where that revenue number comes from. I think it's probably in the 60 or 70 million range.
I should sit down and try and figure that out. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I would, but yeah, I'm sure it is.
What do you like about coaching newer copywriters?
I feel my favorite thing is when I got into copywriting, there was so much imposter syndrome going on. We all experience it, of course, but a lot of it came from just simply not knowing anything. Really being I have no fucking clue what to do right now. So I feel I love kind of easing their mind when they're getting started and just being it is a lot of information and you are going to feel you don't know what you're doing, but it's not difficult information. It's just a lot of it. As soon as you sit there and you start going through it, you're going to be oh, it's really that easy. I thought it was that sounds so complicated, but then you do it and you're oh, I could do that so easily. And I feel you just have to start to go through things. And I love just kind of remedying that in their mind because it's so stressful. And I wish I had someone when I was starting out. I kind of did. I had Grace. But you were just starting out too, where it's I wasn't reaching out to you in that way. I would definitely, especially once I started freelancing, I would always send you my work and be can you look at this and stuff? But you kind of want to act you know what you're doing, right? You don't want to tell people I have no fucking clue what I'm doing right now. You want to be oh yeah, I got this. Do this in my sleep. So there was a bit of that going on too, where I wasn't being fully transparent about how little I actually knew. And so I'll say to my students, I'm I know you don't know anything, and that's okay. And you just ask me any question. It's not a stupid question ever, and I love that. I love kind of just being there for them in that part, in their beginning stages.
It took me probably a full year for me to be actually confident. Mm-hmm. I was 6 months in when we started talking about it. It was December of 2020. I kind of knew what was going on, but not really. But June of 21, I was oh, dude, I could do anything. Did it take you about the same?
Yeah, I would definitely say a year for sure. You'd think it would take a couple months because you'll try and jump right in and be I'm gonna learn everything. But it just takes time. There's so much to learn. After about a year, once you're you've had enough clients, enough situations have come up that you've dealt with, you're okay, I feel pretty good about this.
Who's your best coaching case study? Someone who's from Inner Circle who like you've worked with like pretty closely who's like killing it now?
I think it might have been Megan. She came in and she just kind of reminded me like of myself when I started. She was like, I feel like I can do this. Like, sounds like easy enough, but when I actually sit there to do it, like I just don't know. And like she was dealing with a lot of the imposter syndrome. And it was just kind of like, again, ask me any questions. And she just asked question after question after question and would send me her copy, wanted like actual like revisions on it, like lay it on me, give me what I need to know. But then also did a really good job of like problem solving for herself. Like she would take a shot at it first. Like she wouldn't come to me unless she had like in her mind tried every single option. And I feel like that's what helped her. But yeah, once she started like actually landing her clients, I was so excited for her. And she's like doing e-com as well, which I feel like low key, like we've talked about it, is harder. So to land an e-com client is like 10 times harder than landing an info product client sometimes. So like even more props to her that like she's actually landing clients and like doing the thing, because like it's not easy.
What advice would you give to someone who's like kind of just starting out?
Probably focus on your network. I feel like that's the thing that's gotten me most of my clients. I would say focus on that. When you get into it, you're just like, you're really focused on yourself and like trying to develop all your skills, which is really important, but that will always come. Like that just comes with practice and writing more and more. But your network is something where like you're only going to meet someone maybe one time, and so you really need to take advantage of those situations. So even early on, like just being very cognitive of like every person you meet could get you somewhere, and let's like really like take some care into this relationship and put your best foot forward and be a personable person, like, you know, make them like you and stuff like that. I feel like there's opportunities that I may have missed in the beginning where like I should have schmoozed someone a little bit more, because now like I'm like, I could have reached out to them for that, and like I didn't create that relationship. So that would be like my biggest thing. That
kind of happens naturally. Like I don't think like you can like go and seek out a network, because you can tell that it's kind of inauthentic. There's a lot of people that try and like network with us, and it's like,
yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, like you got to have something.
Yeah.
And I think like because you are like actually really good at writing, brand owners, marketers like want to know you because you're like a good contact to have for them. But also like they can scratch your back too, where it's like, if you ever you find yourself in a place where like you need a client, like they'll hook it up.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of like something people overlook is just nurturing those relationships a lot. It's a lot of like just like very transactional, like, okay, here's the copy that I wrote for you, okay, here's the money. Whereas like you could just go the distance and it will like actually benefit you so much later on.
Last thing, I guess, what's the best part about Inner Circle that you've seen? You've also watched it kind of grow. I feel like it's gotten a lot better like since you started. What's in it for everybody else?
The community.
Says that.
Yeah, but it's true. Like, you know those like when people say phrases, like commonly used phrases, and it takes like a situation to happen and then you hear it differently and you're like, oh, that's why everyone says that. If you know, you know. Like the community in Inner Circle is so strong. Obviously, like the coaching goes without saying, like we're all great copywriters. Every single coach is a great copywriter. You're going to get value from all of them. You could get a lead from, like, there's so much value like just sitting there like as is. But the community is where it's at. Like if you need anything, you just ask in the group chat, like, how do I blah, blah, blah. Someone's giving you an answer. That would take you maybe 5 hours to figure out. That might take you a week to figure out. You sent a message in 30 seconds and you got a response in 2 minutes, and now your problem is completely solved. And it's not even like you needed to access one of the coaches to do it. Like the community just knows, and they're all so willing to help you out. I've seen people give other people clients, you know, like pass off clients onto each other. Or if their agency is hiring, they'll send a message in the general chat, hey, my agency's hiring, you guys should send in your portfolios to this email. It's like, you don't get that anywhere else. Like you wouldn't get that if you weren't in the community. And just like I talked about imposter syndrome, like that's a very real thing. Every single student I talk to talks about how they're like, can I really do this? Or like, am I really good enough to do that? And it's like that community is so supportive and makes you feel like you're so good at what you're doing, or will tell you like, hey, that's really not good.
Yeah.
And like, thank you. Like I needed that. Like I would have embarrassed myself sending that to my client and them telling me that, you know? So I just think the community is absolutely everything. And people have made like friends for life in it. Like obviously that's just like a kind of like a cutesy little byproduct, but
Val and Claire.
Val and Claire, there's like Mao. He's friends with Val, is he not?
Is he?
Yeah, they like went to they traveled together.
Really?
They went on a trip together. Not together, or they like met up. And I don't think it was like that.
Shout out, Matt.
But yeah, no, like people have made like genuine friendships. Even just like I've made genuine friendships, like Abby.
Abby. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think that was probably one of the best videos that we've done. I really enjoyed that one. If you enjoyed it too, like, subscribe, maybe comment, and don't forget, if you want to join me and Hannah inside our coaching program, link to the inner circle is in the description. Click that, hang out with us, and we will coach you to be exactly like me and her. It's gonna be amazing, all right? Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon.